Are you sitting down to write your CV or resume today and feeling a bit stuck? Or perhaps you've been applying for roles for a while and you're not getting the results you want. Well, good news. Today I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to do to write a winning CV for 2021. I'm going to share 3 top tips to write a CV that will land you interviews, and watch to the end as I share a bonus tip, which is something most candidates aren't doing. My name's Hannah, and I am a CV writer, former recruiter, and LinkedIn top voice for job search and career advice in 2020. Everything I will share with you today is also in my ebook on CV writing, and there are lots more tips and advice in there to help you write a CV that will land you job interviews. I'll link that in the description below, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. My first tip is to include personal branding on your CV. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is you're going to include some key statements on your CV that tell the recruiter in just a few words exactly what they want to see. If you look at your CV document, at the top should be your name and contact details. That's your main heading or title. And then right underneath that, we want to include another section, which is your personal branding. And this is some key statements that are going to make you stand out above other candidates. This is your unique selling points, and this should address exactly what the recruiter's looking for. You can no longer rely on this information being hidden in the body of your CV, in your experience section, or just rely on the fact that you have the right companies and the right job titles on your CV. You need to tell the recruiter exactly what makes you different and how you can solve the problem that they are looking for you to solve. So I'll just show you some examples. Imagine that you are a CFO and your thing is that you're really good at digitizing the finance function. And you know that that's something that a lot of companies are looking to do. Right under your name and contact details, you could write CFO spearheading digital transformation of finance teams. Or if you're a retail worker, you might write sales assistant delivering service with a smile. This is something that you want to be known for, that you want the recruiter to know about you right away. We can then go one step further and underneath that statement, highlight 2 or 3 key skills that are relevant for the role you're applying for. You want to take a look at the job description, really understand what the key things are they are looking for, and address this right at the top of the CV. So our CFO might write ACCA qualified, 5 years FMCG experience, SAP implementation. Our sales assistant might write luxury retail, bilingual, top customer service score. You can adjust this for each role so that you're targeting exactly what that role is demanding of the candidate, so that the recruiter knows right away, this is the person I'm looking for. My second tip is to ditch the sidebar. Now, a few years ago, sidebars were really in fashion on CVs. Lots of companies were building templates with multi-columns, and a lot of people use those on their CVs. At first, they might have helped you stand out, but that is not true any longer. And in fact, they're not very practical for 2 reasons. One, it's not that easy to read a multi-column CV. Most people read top to bottom and left to right. They don't want to read one column and then scroll back to the top and read the next column. When you lay your CV out in this way, key information may be missed. Secondly, it's quite hard to write your CV in that way. I often see candidates trying to squeeze information in and adjusting their content to try and fit that format. Your content should be the most important thing, and the format should work around that, not the other way around. So for 2021, make sure your CV is a top to bottom linear CV in one column. Now, before I share my bonus tip to help you stand out, I want to share with you my third tip for writing a CV or resume in 2021. And this one really carries through from last year, which is to make your CV ATS-friendly. ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System, and there's been quite a lot of myths about this. So let me just quickly explain to you exactly what this means. So applicant tracking systems are essentially software that companies and recruiters use to help them with the recruitment process. There's lots of different types, but essentially we're talking about computer software where CVs are stored, where applicants are moved through the recruitment process. Now, most of this software is less intelligent than what you might have heard. It does not automatically reject CVs or select who is shortlisted. The recruiter is still the person reviewing your CV, and they are your primary audience. But they do use this software to help them. It can help in some different ways. So for one, it might generate a plainer version of the CV so that they can quickly review CVs and click to shortlist or reject the candidate. It's really important that what's displayed to them is what you want them to see and not some jumbled version of your CV. Secondly, once your CV is stored in the database, a recruiter may use keywords or conduct searches to find relevant candidates. So it's really important that your CV is totally searchable by computer software and that all the information on your CV is picked up by a computer. So, how do you do that? Well, firstly, you want to create your CV in Microsoft Word, ideally, and save it as a Word or a PDF document. That way, the software is going to be able to extract all the information from your CV. Don't create your CV in something like Canva or a graphic design software. That can cause issues. Secondly, you want to avoid using images on your CV. Everything you want to say needs to be written in text. So if you're putting your company names as company logos, that's not going to be picked up. If you're displaying your skills in little graphs and pictures, that's not going to be picked up. Everything in your CV needs to be written in words, ideally in Microsoft Word. Thirdly, you want to include all of the text in the main body of the document. Not in the header, not in the footer, not in text boxes or graphs. Information contained in these sections may not be picked up, so make sure everything's in the main body and keep a simple layout. As I talked about before, top to bottom layout works best. And that's it. You can still use different fonts, you can use some colours, shadings, lines to help just make it easier to read. But if you follow those simple rules, your CV will be ATS friendly and won't cause any issues. Okay, so we've talked about 3 things you need to be aware of when writing your CV in 2021. You're going to include personal branding, you're going to ditch that sidebar, and you're going to make sure your CV is ATS friendly. Now it's time for my bonus tip, which is think of yourself as a consultant and not a job seeker. What do I mean? It's really important to make that mindset shift. A job seeker desperately needs a job. They need the company. They just want someone to employ them. Whereas a consultant is someone who is able to help the company reach its goals. They're someone the company wants to bring in on board to solve a particular problem or pain point they have. A consultant is someone who is perhaps able to innovate and move the company forward in the direction it wants to go. You want to think of yourself as a consultant, someone who's writing a pitch to the company as to how you can help them reach their goals. And as you make that mindset shift, look back through your document, look through your CV or resume and consider, am I approaching this as someone who really just needs a job? Or am I approaching this as someone who is able to move this company forward, has ideas, and has a track record of having done this for other organizations? You can do that by writing your work history as a list of your achievements and accomplishments. Focus on key projects that you've worked on, the key difference that you've made in the organizations you've worked for before. Write your summary as a sales pitch and address it to that particular company's needs. Not just a generic statement of, I'm looking to work in a progressive organization, but a statement of, this is who I am, this is what I've done, and this is how I can help you reach your goals. This is going to really help position you in the job market for 2021, when there is lots of talent looking, lots of people with perhaps the same credentials, the same type of work history as you. You need to pitch yourself as someone who is able to really innovate and move that company forward in the direction it's looking to go. I really hope you found those tips helpful, and I wish you all the best in your job search. If you liked this video, then do subscribe to our channel and make sure to like the video. Let me know in the comments below as well, which tip did you find the most helpful? We do lots more content all about job searching, interviews, and CV writing, so do stay tuned, and I hope to see you again.